What's up, y'all? Atlas here again, here with another deck profile, Magnolia. So here I am coping with the mags like I normally am since the beginning of Overdress. Okay, now that it got a couple of support cards that made it so that you can play both the Grade 4 or the Dragon variant of the deck almost conclusively. We're like, before, the Dragontree was the better version. Before that, the Grade 4 was the better version. And I've tried both extensively, and I went with the Dragontree. And I'll tell you why in a second. But if you want me to do a Grade 4 deck profile, leave a like and a comment below, please. That would be a super huge help. So let's get into the deck list here. Now, one big huge change for this deck is not in the cards itself released, but the rules. So where Bushiroad made it so that you had to run 50 cards outside of your ride line, that's 4 extra card slots. And one big flaw of the Dragontree list was that you were just hard up for deck space, and that's less of a problem now. So you may notice that I don't have the Zorga ride line anymore. And the reason for that is that I don't think there's enough orders to really justify its existence. And they released this little bugger, Lepcor. So Lepcor, when you ride Magnolia Masques on Van, you can call it to rear and he gets plus 5k. So when you do the Dragontree, or when you do the Mask turn, this is just a 13k. Or 23 if you're going second. Now, normally, what's going to happen, this is almost never going to happen, where you get paired up with someone, they win the die roll, and they go, I'm going second. It used to maybe happen a little bit, because they're like, oh, there's enough Dragontree decks around, and they're mostly dead, so hooray. This will almost always happen this way. You can almost always blast this out by the time you get there, because the Grade 2 that you're getting, they remade the Magnolia ride line into like less terrible versions. So Lattice's effect, when you ride a Magnolia any kind over him, you Soul Blast and get a Grade 3 or greater card or normal order from your drop into your hand. So this means that you can get Dragontree Magnolia if you discarded it for ride line, if you healed it, milled it, something like that. You can get that back. You can also get the Mask order if you discard it for something. So this is almost always useful. And then if you have a Vanguard with Magnolia, it gets 5k during your turn. That's all fine. That's well and good. So going into the deck proper here. Once again, the code will be in the description if you need it. Please, if you do, leave a like, leave a comment. It helps out the channel and all that stuff so well. So, just a refresher here. Dragontree Mask can only ride from a regular Magnolia. So that's why it's not in the ride line itself. I know that they did that on purpose, but it can sometimes be a pain. I played against somebody the other day where I did not run into anything to search this, and then I took 2 on damage in a row, and then it got worse from there. But that's a very rare incident. And then during your turn, all of your rear guards on rear guard with the Dragontree can attack in the back row and get 10k. And then the Dragontree markers themselves give whatever's on it a 5k. Meaning that this has more power to it than the Grade 4 Magnolia, which only gives 5k to all your units, which is kind of a big deal. The Grade 4 Magnolia also lets your guys intercept from the back row, any of them, but most of the time you're not putting those there to intercept with them. You're using them to attack. So I think I just prefer this. The other thing is you can remove a Magnolia from a different name from hand, soul, or drop, and then anytime something swings from the back row, the opponent retires a rear guard, or you retire one of your opponent's rear guards. So you can just do like a board wipe one of the turns, because at max you'll have 3. 1, 2, 3 from the back. But yeah, pretty good card if you have the infrastructure to search it. Like this guy. This is Kenwin, one of the new support cards we got. Kenwin, on play, if you have a Grade 3 or greater Magnolia Soul Blast, discard something.
search deck for up to 1 card with Magnolia with a different name from your Vanguard. So either the 4 or the Dragontree. This is used in both. Or you can search a grade 0 or normal order. So that's meant to search Wild Intelligence, which you use in the grade 4 version of the deck. But I couldn't really fit it in here, although the case is to be made, right? Where you can go, okay, I'll search Wild Intelligence, play it, mill 3, call 2, and then use the mask order from drop, because it doesn't have to be played like a normal order. It's very interesting. I like this card in terms of design. I do wish he didn't have the Soul Blast or discard, like one or the other, but fine, whatever, that's what they're going to give to us. I ran 2 of the Energy Cyclers, because you do not do anything with energy in this deck right now. So it's just nice to be able to go, all right, discard it for right line, draw 1. Nice, good. The other effect is also kind of cool. So when you play it on rear, if you Persona Ride this turn, so that means when you ride Magnolia Mask, you will Persona Ride 99.9% of the time. You can get a grade 2 or less normal unit with a different card name from him and without Sentinel. Again, just let us have it. Why? Put it into your hand, then discard something. So normally what you're going to do is to get something of value, like Force Growth Dragon, or and then discard something you're going to call back with Force Growth Dragon. So this is your reborn engine in the deck. If it's placed on rear outside the battle phase, if you have Mask, Counterblast, call cards up to the number of Dragontree markers you have. So typically, by the time you get to grade 3, you'll have 2, maybe 3, if the opponent's being aggressive. So this is already like a monster reborn on legs, which is cool, and it's at 3. The other effect is when it swings, you can give Vanguard 5k, which is not nothing. It's, you know, it justifies his existence after. In terms of the marker makers, you have 3 of the grade 2, 2 of the grade 1. The grade 2 lets you search the mask order on play, so you can use that as a card to discard for Kenwin, for the Energy Cycler, for Ride Line, for whatever, or play the order by itself. While the grade 1 doesn't get you the mask, but it's only a Counterblast instead of a Counterblast Soul Blast. And then once per turn, if your Vanguard's grade 3 or greater, Counterblast, Soul Blast, get a normal order back to hand. I'll get to those in a bit. In terms of the techs, so you have Gubreg to help close out games, Alvin, shout out Root Beer, to grind down the opponent's hand. Glow Nipples, the deck can be a little tight for Counterblast space, so that's why I only have it at 1. But having it be a constant 25 attacker that can give power to other stuff is great. One of my favorite things to do is attack with Vanguard first and then put all trigger power on Glow Nipples, and then Glow Nipples give all trigger power to something else. You can like double up on it. So that's a really cool card too. NPix, the reason I have this at 2 instead of 1 is, first off, this hits 33 on its own on a Dragontree marker. So the Dragontree gives it 10. Mask gives it 10. Dragontree gives it another 5, so that's 23. And then NPix, when in the back row, gets another 10. There's 33. Which is a big frickin' deal, because then that is immediately going to be 2 cards from the opponent's hand, no matter what. The other thing is that if you have 3 or less rear guards, it's got resist on the front and the back row. So against the guy who I completely just face planted against, this helped me for a long time because he was playing Prison, and he would ride the grade 4 and be like, all right, 2 from hand, 2 from field, 2 from soul. And I'm like, I soul blasted all my cards, and it's NPix and the guy in front of it, so I can't choose those. So here's 2 cards, and let's keep going. Love this little guy. He's great. I think he's better in this than he is in the grade 4 Magnolia deck. And then this, oh, I love this lady. I love this girl. This is Maleeva. Maleeva is a promo. Luckily, she's pretty cheap because this deck is considered garbage. Fine. And when placed on rear, you need to be on Magnolia Mask for any of this to work. When you place it on rear, you can Soul Blast, give her 5k, and Counter Trench. So that's great. This deck does use a fair amount of Counterblast, and then it can also intercept from the back row no matter what. It doesn't have to be on a Dragontree. And then it gets 5k shield for each Dragontree marker, and that's continuous, so that means even if you guard with this from hand, it's still live. So this can help the game. You can help grind this game out more by being like, guard with this from hand, it's now 20k shield. It's 25k shield, which is a huge deal. And this card is just a fantastic addition to the deck, and I love that they made it. So that's all well and good. Triggers for I think I might down the crits and up the draws just for more cards. Not really sure. I ended up switching out this for the cup. So before I had the cup, the Persona Ride Cup Verdale or whatever its name was, and then I switched it out for this, and that's because you need to deep draw to like get pieces. So this can allow you to draw the 2 cards, or if you need the soul and counter charge, you can just put it in there and do it. Persona Ride isn't a problem in this deck. The first grade 3 turn, most of the time, you're going to get the Persona Ride, so you don't need the cup. This is a better use of your time, I think, or the Elemental Sphere. There's also grade 3 versions of the deck where you run more grade 3s and then you can run 4-bit I guess, but I don't really think you have like the tiger and the elephant. That's really all the grade 3 Sylvanhorn beasts that like matter. 2 of the masks, because you can just search it with Kenwin, and then it helps you search for either other mask units or your Dragontree monster, or your mask unit or your Dragontree monsters. And then 1 Mythiarch Habitat. This is attack. This has been super nice. It's really nice to like, okay, I get this early, I get it mid-game, get it late game. It's live from the get-go, more or less. And then you can always just recycle it. So no need for more of it. If you like, you can cut the Habitat and run more Gebraid, more Alvin, more Glow Nipples, more N-Picks, whatever. I do think that this is a good ratio to have in terms of like skeletal structure, where you need the cards to get your mask off, and then from there it's just off to the races. One of the cool things about Kenwin is that you can discard things that you were going to bring back with Force Growth anyway for your Dragontree mask, or for your Magnolia Mask from deck, which is pretty cool. And then so you do that to like secure Persona Ride on the turn after that, and then just get it all back with Force Growth. Even like, all right, I'll get Mythiarch Habitat back with this guy, and then I'll do it again, then I'll call Force Growth from deck, and then I'll reborn a whole field. It's a very flexible deck in terms of like ratios that you can run. Less flexible than the grade 4, but I think the grade 4 has more problems closing games, whereas this has more of a problem stabilizing early. So whichever problem you want to do, that's the deck you want to pick. Let me know what you thought. Leave a like, leave a comment. If you want to see the grade 4 version of the deck profile, let me know. I'll make it if you guys demand it enough. Or if you want even more power, patreon.com/nexus@night. Thanks, everyone.